Na 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 na. Raw! Folding stuff is cool. So you want a folding stock for your AR platform rifle or pistol. Well, in this video, we're going to take a look at probably the three most popular options on the market so you can decide which one's right for you. Those will be the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter, the Law Tactical folding stock adapter, and the 17 Design integrated folding lower receiver. And later on in the video, we're going to fire an AR in the folded configuration just to see what happens. Possibly a first on YouTube. So let's start with the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. This is the Gen 3 folding stock adapter. It's much cheaper than the Law Tactical folding stock adapter and the 17 Design integrated folding lower receiver at about $150, but I've seen them as cheap as $120, which is a major pro for this and just about the only pro. Unfortunately, this has not held up very well after about 500 rounds. Now maybe I'm being slightly unfair to the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. That's because I have it mounted to an AR that is chambered in 45 ACP, and 45 ACP has a boatload more recoil compared to other AR chamberings. That's because it uses a blowback system instead of a gas operated system. So there's a lot of violent action going on with this bolt, and I think it's causing a considerable amount of wear on this Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. So that has probably made some issues even worse than they need to be. For example, when I flip it out, it locked into place that time, but that's not always the case. See? Doesn't always want to fold out so well. That time it locks. And I know it looks like that I'm being a little too hard on it when I flip it out, but I treat every adapter the same, and the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter is the only one that's given me trouble when locking into place. And not only is it hard to flip out, but it also likes to unfold itself, which for me is a major no-go. Also, there's a significant gap in between the two halves, and as you can kind of see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's a lot of play as well. So I briefly showed you, but with that violent blowback action, there seems to be a lot of wear going on the inside of the adapter. And one major problem I'm seeing is this buffer detent. Now this is a heavy buffer. I think the camera's picking it up, I'm not sure, but it's a 7.2 ounce buffer, and you can see that detent pin is starting to bend. And then this locking mechanism right here, you can see there's a lot of metal shavings. So it's kind of just getting a little worn out over time. Like I said, about 500 rounds through this gun with the adapter on it. And it's not really holding up very well. And one of the last issues I have with the Sylvan Arms adapter is just aesthetically, I think it looks a little weird. It kind of hangs right in the middle of the gun. In the middle of the buffer tube, because you have this buffer tube extension right here that is attached to the first half of the adapter, and then you screw your buffer tube into the second half of the adapter like you would a normal folding stock adapter. However, this is the only folding stock adapter that has this little buffer tube extension, which I think can possibly be a weak point. And you can also see you need 2 castle nuts and 2 end plates. These two right here came with the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. However, if you look at the difference between like a mil-spec castle nut and their castle nut, their castle nut is a lot skinnier. So I'm not sure exactly how that would hold up over time as well. Let's see if it actually stays closed. That wasn't supposed to happen. Little jam. That's it. This magazine, Korean made, does not want to stay back on the last round. Neither does this ETS, but I'm not expecting too much out of a Foxtrot mic. Sort of home build there. Oh yeah. There you go. So this is the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. I mean, it works. It just has its quirks. It works, but has its quirks. Like I was showing you earlier, it doesn't always want to lock into place whenever you flip it. However, I'm sure that's not really good for any folding stock adapter to just whack it into place. The one major problem that this has, and it's probably the reason why I'm going to end up taking this Sylvan Arms adapter off of here, is because I got another magazine loaded up. Got these ETS mags. They kind of spread apart whenever they're loaded full. They're hard to put in. But anyways, this Sylvan Arms adapter sometimes actually unfolds itself while shooting, which is not a good thing. So that's the main reason I'm going to take this off. Let me see if I can replicate that real quick. There we go. See? No bueno. Would not trust my life to something like that. So I usually just try and hold it with my cheek and squeeze it sort of to the left, so that way it stays folded or unfolded until it's time to be folded. Yeah. Major problem with this, as you guys can see. But for the time being, it works. And that's the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. All right, so next up, we're going to take a look at the Law Tactical folding stock adapter clone. This is not a real Law Tactical folding stock adapter. This is a clone. Just to get that out of the way first. Now, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for buying and possibly promoting a fake Law Tactical, but the real Law Tactical is ridiculously expensive for what it is. It's kind of funny. This one even says Law Tactical on it. I hope the camera's picking that up. But I mean, this one was $38. The real Law Tactical folding stock adapter is about $280. Coincidentally, I actually just saw it on sale as of the filming of this video today for $250, but still $38. I mean, you are significantly under the price point of the real one. But yeah, this is definitely the wish.com version. The real Law Tactical is made out of CNC machined 4140 steel. This one, I'm pretty sure they just melted down a bunch of Shasta cans and slopped it together. But just because this is a knockoff doesn't mean that it's low quality. I'm actually rather impressed with it after about 400 rounds. I don't actually shoot this gun too much. This is mostly a wall hanger. But after about 400 rounds, it's held up pretty nicely. I'll give you a shot on the inside. And this one's working just fine. It's pretty tough. It has great lockup. which are qualities that it definitely shares with the real Law Tactical. And also, in my personal opinion, I think it looks much more sleeker than the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter, because it sits nestled up right up against this lower receiver here, and there's no like extra buffer tube part hanging off there. And as you can see, you only need one cast nut and one end plate. This one also has a bit of a gap in the middle there, and there is some play, but again, this one is the fake. I'm pretty sure that for the money, $250 to $280, I'm pretty sure it's going to have even better lockup than this one, and you're probably not going to have as much play. So one minor con with this fake Law Tactical folding stock adapter, let me take the mag out for a sec. This, if I can get out of here, there we go. This piece right here, it comes with it. It's, I guess, the bolt extension. And I had to sand down the part that fits into the bolt. So like right inside here. And now I can't get this thing to budge, which might be a good thing because it's almost like one solid piece. But in order to maintain your firearm, you have to be able to take this piece out in order to take off the upper. So right now, I haven't actually cleaned this in a while. It's actually working pretty good. I've got really no major issues with it. I have no need to really clean it. Like I said, it's kind of a wall hanger, but in the future, eventually I'm going to need to clean it, and this thing's probably going to be a pain in the neck to take out. And again, I'm pretty sure this is just limited to the clone version of the Law Tactical. And the clone version came with the skinniest little detent that I've ever seen. However, that skinny little detent is holding up just fine after about 400 rounds, which is rather impressive. But those are really only the, 2 or 3 sort of cons that I can think of for this clone Law Tactical folding stock adapter. The real folding stock adapter, like I was saying, probably doesn't even have those issues. But this clone, for significantly less, has very manageable problems that you can easily get around. And then one last thing, just before y'all start typing in the comments, hey, your hand stop is backwards, or hey, your optics mount is backwards. I know it's backwards. I actually like it better that way. The hand stop feels a lot better like this than if it was the other way. And this optics mount right here, I just think it looks cooler. It's really just an aesthetic thing. When I turned it around, I kind of like the way that the optic is sort of hovering above the upper receiver there. So now for the Law Tactical clone. Just because it's a clone doesn't mean it doesn't work pretty well, but let's go and see what happens here. This one does lock back pretty well. Not bad. So let's do one more magazine. There's only 15 rounds in these magazines because Russian ammo ban, whatever. So, not going to be shooting full magazines for a while, but let's go. Hate missing that last shot. But that's a Law Tactical clone. It's working just fine. I actually like it a lot. It deploys really easily, locks into place nicely. I don't seem to be having any issues whatsoever. The magazine locks back on the last round pretty easily, which, as you'll see in the next one, I think it's because of the folding stock adapter, just the setup, it has a hard time locking back. And that's going to be the, what's it called, 17 design, I think, folding lower, which I'll show you right now. And just in case you're wondering why I'm not shooting the silhouette target with a 223, I shot with the 45. The silhouette target's the only target down there that's not AR 500, so anything above a 44 mag would probably just go right through it. Then finally, it's not a folding adapter, but an entire folding lower. This one is the 17 design integrated folding lower receiver, or IFLR, or IFLR. So first of all, this upper receiver, it's unfinished, and that's because I kind of want to paint it rattle can style, and I'll probably make that into a video. But this one I like because the folding mechanism is an integrated part of the lower and comes all put together. It's also about the same price as the Law Tactical folding stock adapter by itself. So you don't need to go out and get another lower because this folding stock adapter is already integrated into the 17 design lower, which is a good lower. I like it a lot, actually. Just a couple of things about the lower. It has a flared mag well, which is nice. It has its own little proprietary bolt catch pin that you screw in instead of hammering, so it's a lot easier for installation. But one possible con is that if that breaks, it's going to be a lot more difficult to replace than the mil-spec bolt catch pin. And just to go back to price for a second, generally they're about $250 to $280, right in the same ballpark as the Law Tactical, like I was saying. However, this one was only $200. You can find them on sale usually for well under $250. So in that respect, it's actually cheaper than the Law Tactical. So the mechanism is kind of nice. It's easy to fold and everything. It's very similar to the adapters with the button, just like right here on the right hand side. And just like the other adapters, it does not really stay folded. As you can see, there's no like ball detent or anything keeping it folded. It just has the screw right up here, which you screw in as much as you can without stripping it to provide a little extra tension, but it's still not enough to keep it from unfolding itself. But that's not really a big deal to me. Like I was saying, the deployment is actually really smooth. The lockup is really nice. There's, unlike the adapters, there's not really much of a gap right here and not much play. I also think that it's has a very sleek design. Looks way nicer than the Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. And it looks pretty similar to the Law Tactical because, again, there's no extra buffer tube section right here. Just one castle nut, one end plate, and it's just nestled up right up against the lower receiver. So along with the bolt catch pin, it has one more proprietary piece. That is this buffer that they do include with it. It's a proprietary buffer because it has this extension right here, and that nestles up against your bolt. Instead of having like a plug of some sort that you plug into the bolt, this one is just a buffer extension. And I guess it works fine for, they had their reasons for doing that. I do have one issue with it, and I'm not sure if it is the buffer, but it's definitely a heavier buffer than your average carbine buffer. And with these PMags on the last round, I'm getting some last round hold open issues. Sorry if that was loud. But, like I was saying, it's with a PMag, so you really don't get a lot of issues with PMags. I was not having the same issue with hex mags, so it could be a magazine thing. But the fact that it's having issues with an industry standard is not necessarily a good thing. And in case you're wondering, there is just a regular mil-spec gas tube. It's a non-adjustable gas tube that I have in this. So in other words, the gas port is wide open, and it's still having slight issues on locking back on a PMAG. Not always, but sometimes. However, it is nice that you don't have to plug the bolt, which means that you don't have an extra piece that you have to worry about. Like the name kind of says, everything is kind of integrated, including the buffer. All right, well, here's the 17th design folding lower, and this one also has a really good lockup. Deploys really nicely, as you just saw. I don't have to really force it too much, just kind of locks into place. And this one's just a little unique because it's got a proprietary buffer, so you can't use your standard buffer. And I think that's one reason why maybe it's having these last round hold open issues. So let's see if we can get that on camera. Again, just shooting 15 rounds here, and then I've got another magazine with 15 rounds. Yep. Uh-oh. Actually, that was a jam. I don't really know what just happened there. Alright, so I got about 5-ish, maybe 4 rounds left, something like that. I can hear the brass hitting the tripod. I hope it's not too distracting. Oh. Won't stay back on the last round. Mag does fall free. Actually, I'd stay back with the hex mag. Maybe it's the magazine. Who knows? So which one of these options do I prefer? Probably the integrated folding lower receiver made by 17 Design, as opposed to any of the adapters because of its functionality and cost. However, which one of these would I recommend? Honestly, neither. I think that a folding adapter or a AR-15 that folds is just kind of gimmicky and more of a novelty than anything practical. Sure, it looks cool, but in a real world application, you're just adding additional points of failure to something that you may be trusting your life to. And that's one major reason why I got the Law Tactical clone as opposed to spending 7.3 times the price on the real thing. And if you're going for compact or concealability, I would recommend something preferably in a pistol caliber, like this MCK right here, which has a great folding mechanism and locks up while folded. By the way, I have a video on this if you want to go check it out. Or something like a CZ Scorpion or SIG MPX/MCX, which is also in 5.56. Heck, I'd even get the Caltech Sub 2000 before seriously considering a folding stock adapter for my AR rifle or pistol. The 5.56/223 just wasn't really designed to be fired out of anything shorter than a 10.3 inch barrel. Actually, when I shot the water jug, you could see a lot of unburnt powder with the 7-inch barrel that I had in that AR pistol. Also, within the folded configuration, an AR platform is susceptible to internal damage of critical parts because you have a lot of stuff that's exposed right here. You know, you have your bolt right here, you have your buffer in there, and a lot of space for, like, if you were to drop this in a big pile of mud, you better believe you're going to get a bunch of dirt and debris all inside there, and that could prove to be quite the problem. So that's why if you're going for something that folds for concealability, I much prefer a PCC, pistol caliber carbine, over any AR-15. But are they cool? I think so. That's why I have 3. So if you really want to fold the stock or brace of your AR because you have reasons, and we all have reasons, I would definitely recommend the 17 design integrated folding lower receiver. All right, we've waited long enough. Let's go and shoot this thing folded.
All right, so the moment that everybody's been waiting for, and by everybody I mean me, the moment I've been waiting for. I'm gonna shoot this thing while folded, and I'm not too worried about this one because this one's the Law Tactical clone that costs about 30 bucks. So if it breaks, I'm not really in the hole too much money. But I'm gonna go ahead and tape it down pretty good, tie a string to the trigger because I don't want to actually pull the trigger with my own fingers, and we'll see what happens. And I'm gonna be shooting a just regular steel cased 223. And I guess first things first, I gotta actually load the round in there. Now it's loaded, it's on safe, and I'm gonna go and fold this. As you can see, I got a jug of water right here. I'm pretty sure it's gonna annihilate that jug of water, but just to be absolutely certain that the bullet travels outside the barrel, I'm gonna put that jug of water there. Put one more piece of tape on this side. Alright. Go and get our string here. Alright, we are on safe. Alright. I got the string about, I don't know, 20, 30 yards back, and I'm going to be hiding behind my car as well. So, it's off safe, it's on fire. Let's see what happens. Alright, fire in the hole. Destroyed my AR-15. Definitely destroyed that water. But actually, it's not nearly as bad as what I thought. Definitely shot the bolt out a little bit. Let's go ahead and take this out of here, see what happens. I'm really glad it didn't cover my gun in water. Not that it's that big of a deal, but it's a little less to clean up, I guess. Take the string off, and here we go. Not too bad. I mean, seems like it works. Ooh, actually, there is something going on. That bolt release is not working. I don't know. Maybe it's the magazine. I mean, I guess it's working. It's no like serious damage. Seems like. All looks okay. Yeah, I think this magazine might be causing some issues. Let's go and pull the trigger. Yep. See if it resets. Yep. Cool. There we go, everybody. Possibly a first on YouTube, firing one of these folding stock adapters while folded. Definitely don't advise doing it, but just wanted to do it so you don't have to. Just for the heck of it, let's go and fire 5 rounds out of it. Make sure everything's still working just fine. Oh, I almost knelt down in water. Okay, I'm just gonna. Yep. Seems to work just fine. And actually that bolt release is really smooth now. I think it's this magazine. Might have had a stiff follower or something. I don't know.
Now, I am honestly surprised to see that no serious damage occurred when this AR-15 was shot while folded. Right here, when you have it folded, it even says, do not fire. I hope the camera's picking that up. I mean, I thought at the very least that this bolt was going to go flying out the back end, possibly shearing off pieces of the adapter, or might have possibly had a out of battery detonation because there's no spring tension keeping the bolt forward, which might have also resulted in a squib load, which is why I wanted to have the water jug right in front of it just to make sure that the bullet did travel out of the barrel. But I can't really see any real damage at all. And the gun functions just fine. However, that is just from one shot. If I repeatedly shot it while folded, which there's really no practical reason to do so, it might start breaking stuff. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. Roar! Pew pew pew! Roar! Pew 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 pew! Roar!